The story you're about to hear is a compilation of documented true facts about historical characters, events, or locations. Please sit back and listen as I narrate this story to you. On May 25, 1992, the Manila, Philippines-based Channel 2 news program aired a segment that had been running since February of that year. Every night, the station announced the winning number for the day in Pepsi's Number Fever promotion. Purchasing a specially marked Pepsi product enabled customers to match the three-digit numbers beneath the bottle cap to the announcements. While most prices were only 100 pesos, roughly $1.96 in today's US currency, there was a chance to win 1,000,000 pesos, or the equivalent of almost $20,000. Number Fever was created by a Chilean executive named Pedro Vergara, who worked in the promotions department in New York. Following a successful rollout in the United States, Pepsi-Cola International Chief Executive Officer Christopher Sinclair made it a part of his strategy to compete with Coca-Cola outside of the United States. Sinclair, the global arm's youngest CEO at 38 years old, had earned a reputation as a battlefield commander. He was dismayed to find the world's grocery aisles awash with Coca-Cola Red after visiting 77 countries in 6 months. Pepsi hired DG Consultores, a Mexican firm, to bring Number Fever to Argentina, Chile, Guatemala, Mexico, and the Philippines, where it truly took off. Monthly sales increased from $10 million to $14 million, and the company's market share increased from 19.4% to 24.9%. Bottling plants screamed for 20 hours a day, more than doubling their usual output. An aggressive advertising campaign dominated the media, with the winning numbers being broadcast on 29 radio stations and 4 newspapers. However, there were reasons to doubt that the promotion would result in a clear victory for Pepsi. Earlier that year, during the Chilean rollout, a jumbled fax caused a wrong number to be announced, sparking riots. Even before the 349 error was discovered, swindlers in the Philippines were creating fake winning crowns, leading people to claim they'd been wrongfully denied prizes. In the Philippines, the world's 12th largest soft drink market at that time, the company trailed Coca-Cola by a long shot. The promise of winning anything from a small sum of money to 1,000,000 pesos was enough to increase the sales by 40%, capturing 26% of the country's market share. From February to May, 51,000 people won 100 pesos, with 17 winning the grand prize. The grand prize was thought to be a life-changing sum of money. Number Fever smacked Coke in the face like a sucker punch. Rodolfo Salazar, president of the Pepsi-Cola Products Philippines Incorporated, boasted that half of the country was involved, making it the most successful marketing promotion in the world. As Pepsi's sales increased, Coke executives scrambled in vain to create their own promotional game, even purchasing a whole truck of bottles to determine the ratio of what we call the seeding, the winning crown to the non-winning, recalls Barbara Gonzalez, Coke's former corporate communications director in the Philippines. The promotion, which was supposed to end on May 8th, was extended by 5 weeks. Number Fever had progressed to number hysteria by this point. A maid was imprisoned after cops accused her of stealing her employer's winning crown, as the bottle caps were known. A feud over another crown led to the murder of 2 Pepsi salespeople. DG Consultores helped Pepsi to determine the winning numbers. The numbers were generated by computer and then stored in a Manila safe deposit box. The list would then be used to seed bottle caps in bottling plants. On television each night, the company would announce the day's winning number. When the winning number, 349, appeared on the screen that night, tens of thousands of Filipinos couldn't believe their luck. The number was associated with the sweepstakes' largest prize. However, only 2 of the grand prizes were supposed to be awarded, and they were supposed to contain a special security code that proved the cap was genuine. That system malfunctioned in some way. A computer glitch caused butlers to print 800,000 caps with the 349 designation, but all but 2 lacked a special security code that proved the cap was authentic. That detail was irrelevant to consumers who saw that they had the number and proceeded to demand the price they believed was owed to them, a number that eventually grew to 486,170 people. Despite the fact that more caps were printed, not everyone noticed they had a winning number. The next day, May 25, Pepsi attempted to change the winning number. Newspapers reported that the true winner was 134, adding to the confusion. People swarmed the Pepsi plants in Manila, clutching their 349 emblazoned bottle caps in search of the promised reward. There was none. The company refused to give them their prices, claiming that the caps lacked the proper security number. Winners complained that the promotional materials made no mention of a winning security code, only that a security number determined the authenticity of the cap. The company barricaded the factory gates in Quezon City, and by mid-morning, police and soldiers were grappling with 349 holders who were throwing rocks at the structure. The plants were surrounded by barbed wires. Riots, boycotts, and picketing erupted as a result. At bottling plants, homemade bombs were detonated. The giveaway was designed to increase sales. Instead, Pepsi executives were not only losing market share, but they were also fearing for their lives. Pepsi executives in the Philippines and the United States convened at 3 a.m. for an emergency meeting to discuss how to proceed. Honoring the perceived value of all the caps were practically impossible to justify economically. It would have cost the company tens of billions of dollars. Instead, they declared it a computer error and offered $18 to $20 in goodwill gesture to cap holders. What was supposed to be a $2 million total prize promotion ballooned to $10 million. While some consumers accepted the award, the majority were enraged. They claimed that Pepsi had raised the prospect of lessening their financial burdens. They were unconcerned about a clerical error. Pepsi was a massive conglomerate that should accept responsibility. It didn't take long for Pepsi to pinpoint the source of the problem. 349, who had been designated as a non-winner in the original promotion, had been mistakenly selected as a winner for the contest extension. According to the company, crowns from the extension were printed with a different 7-digit security code, and none of them would be honored. The explanation did not sit well with the protesters. Irate winners have rioted at some of the plants, while others have used grenades and firebombs to attack bottling plants and delivery trucks. Pepsi delivery trucks were an early and frequent casualty of the soft drink manufacturers' war. Protesters overturned, burned, stoned, or otherwise vandalized between 32 and 37 trucks, with many taking to the streets with signs and bullhorns to express their outrage at the company's wrongdoing. Molotov cocktails, homemade explosives that smashed into windows and front lawns, were hurled at corporate Pepsi offices. One homemade grenade aimed at a truck continued to roll and struck a school teacher, killing her and a 5-year-old student and injuring 6 others. Concerned Pepsi executives hired bodyguards, armed delivery truck passengers, and evacuated expatriates, leaving only a handful, including one with experience in Beirut, to face the angry mobs, which were quickly becoming organized. Several factions splintered off, including Coalition 349, which took a methodical approach to shaming Pepsi into paying up. They printed anti-Pepsi tracts and called for product boycotts after electing a leader, Vicente Del Fierro Jr. Pacencia Salem, a 64-year-old protester whose husband died of heart failure while marching against the company, declared that the company would never see relief. "Even if I die here, my ghost will come to fight Pepsi," she said. "It is their mistake, not our mistake, and now they won't pay. That's why we are fighting." Though Pepsi was hesitant to respond to these fervent protests, calling it extortion, they were forced to respond to questions from the Philippine government. Pepsi was fined 150,000 pesos by the Department of Trade and Industry in January 1993 for deviating from the government-approved promotional campaign. The Philippine Senate Committee on Trade and Commerce accused Pepsi of gross negligence, noting that Pepsi had been involved in a similar saga in Chile just a month before the 349 incident. Pepsi's black eye in Manila gradually faded. The majority of civil suits, 689, and criminal complaints, 5,200, were dismissed. Anti-Pepsi sentiment began to fade as it became clear that the company was more determined to stay in the country than protesters had time or energy to continue marching. By 1994, their market share had risen from a post-scandal low of 17% to 21%. In 2006, the Philippine Supreme Court ruled that Pepsi was not obligated to honor the sweepstakes payout due to the error, putting an end to the outstanding court cases and potential liability. Hey everyone! I just wanted to express how grateful I am that you took time out of your day to listen to my narration. This is Nikki of Twysted Mind, and I'd like to wish you a wonderful rest of your day. Salamat!